Today I would like to go over movie feedings. So you can do it to your students if you're a coach, or you can do it to yourself if you're players and you're alone and you still want to train. So some coaches, some players, they like to grab with their right hand and they do serve, right? But for me, I like it if I just throw with my left hand and I serve. Then make it more faster. Most important is how you hold your shuttlecocks. Okay, so the first shuttlecock here, I hold it with my two fingers, my index and my middle fingers, right? This is like chopsticks, so you need to hold, you grab and you pull, right? And my thumb and my ring finger is to hold the next shuttlecock with my pinky. So then you just grab with those two fingers and you grab and you throw, keep going. So this needs a lot of practice. At the beginning, like I say, we can do 5, 6, 7, right? This is 5, 6, this is 14. Right? So you just keep going, drop it, and you throw further a little bit. You have to control the way you fit. Get the shuttlecock with your right hand. This is how fast I can go. Okay, with the right hand, you only grab the shuttlecock with my two fingers. This is like how fast I can go. So next one, I want to show you if your students want to train their defense. Right? So the first one with, you grab the shuttlecock with your right hand, right? And this is how you throw, you wait, right? You throw, and you wait until the shuttle is turning down, then you hit. Which is for doubles, we require a little bit quicker. Right? So this is what I do. So I throw with my left hand. So when I throw, I already prepare to smash by using the momentum. Right? Yeah. So now let me show you how do I fit myself. Right? There's a couple drills that you can do. You normally do for doubles. Right? So first part is smash and drive straight. Second drill will be smash and drive from the cross side. So this is how I do. Now those drills you can do either side, right? But from forehand to overhead smash, overhead is a little bit more tricky to do it. Right? Forehand you can just throw and you swing, which is the overhead. You have to throw it the other way. It's a little bit more difficult, but with practicing the training you still can do it. So yeah, this is a sample how. Right, throw it side more, and you have to keep adjusting your position. And then you can do the same thing. Again, go, forehand. Now the next drill will be a defense. Right? But with defense you can just drop it. I don't need to swing my left arm, so I can hold 20, 25, no problem. So this is how I do my defense. Remember, because you do your own, so your form, your focus need to be like brilliant, right? So your form, right, not just whatever, and the also whatever. Okay, so your form need to be and you go as fast as you can. Go. Right, so with that, just not reaction because you kind of know where you're gonna go. Right? It's just more of your wrist and your forearm strength. Now next one will be drive, right, side to side or random. Okay, again, remember always for the form. Right, this is how. Go. Next one will be recovery. Right, so you always live in difficult position with your block. Right, example is this. Okay. The other side. And you do random. It's okay. Oh. Another way to practice footwork is you have your corner, you point toward the corners, and then you use your footwork to move to those corners. If you notice on my feet, I will try to move different ways so that you can capture whether I'm using a two-step, a shuffle, or one hop to the corner. What I'm doing is I'm just watching his racket, David is pointing, I'm in a ready position, and I'm ready to go. So that's the footwork. There's a wonderful footwork that you can do, which is called shadow, with your corner pointing the way to go. When I'm going for a shot, I'll try to concentrate on hitting the butt instead of just swinging my racket. The important thing is play a game in your mind when you're doing a shadow. For David was pointing, he probably tried to play a game in his mind. I think you're making his opponent move from corner to corner. That's why you can see I'm pending and tight.
Now we're going to demonstrate the half-court singles drill. This drill is absolutely critical and just a fantastic drill for singles because it incorporates all of your shots and especially the up and back movement. First, let's define the court. Dean will show you the inside line and the inside singles line. And so it emphasizes the long and narrow court for singles. This forces you and your training partner to play in the court that's long and narrow without covering much at all side to side. This forces you, as your opponent, to hit high and deep shots as well as drop shots tight to the net to make your opponent move.
going to hold the shuttle like this. So your middle finger is going underneath the core pin of the shuttle, like this, and then your thumb is going to go on top, and you're just going to switch the middle finger. And then the shuttle comes in, so that you can rehearse how to do like a net roll, and your opponent is just going to make net roll here, and to return the net roll.
One way to practice your defense, you use the wall, because the wall will be your best friend. The wall will always return the bird back to you. The goal is to control the bird where you want it to go. So when I look at the wall, always measure the height of the net on the wall. So to me, it's around this area. So what I'll do is, we have the players to always aim at the same area all the time. What they will do is put the racket there and just push it forward, racket hit go forward. The one thing they have to look for is once the bird bounces the wall, you have to look for the bird to turn where the base is facing them before they start hitting. If the bounce doesn't turn, you have to wait until the bird turns, and that's when they start hitting. Okay? Go, get to the wall, and start hitting. Aim at the target, maintain the same target. If it's too high off the wall, bring it back down. Make sure it's the height of the net. That's good. Aim at the same spot all the time. Look at the bird. When does it turn? When the base turns towards you, that's when you hit.
The split jump in badminton is one of the most important parts of the game because it's the jump that ensures that you can change direction, that you can stop, start, and if you are not able to do that split jump, then you are not able to generate the power and get around on the court well enough. Showing it like you're moving up towards the front of the court, back to your base position, as and when your opponent is just hitting the shuttle, you're making the split jump, and then you're ready to move again. So if we see it a little bit quicker, and you move again, and the split jump, and straight away you're on your way to the next shot. The split jump is virtually used all around the court. It doesn't necessarily have to be at your base position. It can be used at various situations, and I think it's very, very important that the split jump is not a jump where your legs or feet are parallel with the net, but you have, perhaps as a right-handed player, your right leg slightly in front of your left. So we're seeing it like we're moving in, coming back, and we are like this, and then ready to move again. So we move towards the net, come back, and like this. And as you can see, my right foot is slightly in front of my left foot. It's depending upon what kind of shot you play and what kind of shots you think or anticipate that your opponent would play. So let's say, for argument's sake, that you play a shot here at the backhand and you're moving backhand here. Look here, suddenly you have the left foot in front of the right foot because you're moving here having that split jump, and therefore we can cover that forehand side. On the other side, if you are moving to the forehand side, then suddenly the split jump is with your right foot in front of your left foot.
Alright guys, so now we move on to the serve. So there are different kind of serves in different kind of formats of the games. So we'll begin with a single serve, which is very traditional high and long service. So in badminton, earlier times when the game was developing, over time now services have become way more shorter and faster because games have become a lot faster. But I would still go back to the basic fundamental service, which is a high and long serve. So in that serve, what we do is, usually in singles, try to stay 2 steps behind the service line, which is pretty much close to the center of the court. So you're here, so 1 and 2. So you stay 2 steps behind the service line, and this will be your position for single service, the high or long serve. So your racket and your bird will be almost in the same height, or it can be a little higher too. If you take a look at my toe, my right toe, it's upwards since I'm a lefty. If you're a right-handed player, it's going to be your left. So I would break it into 3 parts. This is position 1, where you get ready to serve. Now in position 2, your toe comes down, your heel comes up on your playing foot, and your racket gets ready to swing. Now in position 3, you're going to hit the bird high and long. So the ideal position for your service, where you hit the bird, is near the service line and the back line in the corner. So this spot right here is a sweet spot for a good serve, because from here, your opponent doesn't really have any sharp angles or any of the corners. If you serve high and long in the middle, no matter what your opponent is going to hit at any corner, it's going to be kind of same distance and same sharpness of the angle. Now, sometimes your opponent is good from the center court, so you might want to change the position of your serve. Still, it's going to be high and long, but it could go from here to all the way here. And that's when anticipation comes in role. You serve to the side, you anticipate for a sharper shot, you retrieve it. And you take advantage of your opponent's thinking that, okay, he's going to hit this, let me just serve there so that he hits a good shot, and I take it. Now I'll show you that second kind of serve. So the first one went all the way in the middle, same action. The second serve will go all the way to the side. So these two kind of serves will help you, push your opponent back in the serve itself. Now, as I said, now these days game is changing. So a lot of people are doing short serves in singles as well. So short serve, we can do it with multiple ways. One of them will be forehand short serve, so that you can deceive them by not letting them know if you're going for a high serve or a long serve. You hold the right position, just like you did the long service, but in the end, you end up doing a short serve. So you change the pace of your racket, in the end, just do a short serve. So that's a short serve. You can do the short serve with the backhand as well. So same thing, we stay a little back since we are playing singles, we're going to take care of the whole court by ourselves. So short serve, usually I keep my playing foot in front, you could do this as well. But this helps me to get ready faster after service. So you're going to hold the bird with the feather, you're going to use your thumb, and as I showed in the service chapter, we're going to hold a little shorter grip, which helps us swing your racket better. So you go a short serve. So this is short serve for singles. Now we move on to a flick serve. So when you're ready to serve, and you know that your opponent has started reading your serve, and he's coming and he's killing you too many times, attacking on your serve itself. So sometimes you shock him, you surprise him with a flick serve. So you try to keep your action as same as possible, but in the end, you give it a hard jerk with your thumb, and the serve goes all the way back. So what happens, your opponent is getting ready to come up on you, but the bird goes back, and you take an advantage on your serve. So these were the serves for singles. Now we move on to doubles. So in doubles, we try to keep the bird low as possible, because the moment you give it high, the game is so fast, the other person will kill you. And eventually, you're going to have to offense. If you be defensive all the time, you cannot win the rally. To finish the rally, you have to be in offense. So now we're going to move on to the double service. Unlike singles, in doubles, you stay as close as possible to the service line. So while I'm telling you the service for doubles, there are rules, certain rules in doubles, like there's a certain height, even in singles those rules apply. So make sure, usually in World Badminton tournaments now, they have an instrument, an equipment, which measures the height of serving person and gives a fault or whatnot. But when you don't have it, try to take an idea with your last rib. So the bird contact should be below your last rib, and your racket head should be below, facing downwards, below your serving thumb. So when you serve, you try to serve as close as possible to the service line and as low as possible, close as possible to the net, so that they cannot come and attack your serve. So in doubles, we have different kinds of serves. Short serve as well, you can go very soft, or you could go for a serve a little longer, which goes onto the body of your opponent, which enables you to stun them, and they cannot come up on you, they cannot come jump on the net. And then, just like I told you guys in the back serve, there are different points of serving. You could serve in the center of the court, just like I did in the beginning, or you could serve, to distract them all the way to the side. When you serve all the way to the side, when they are ready over here, they're taking your shots all the time here. You suddenly change it, they have to go to the side. That kind of disturbs their momentum, and it's more tactical. So you guys keep on thinking, how do I change my serve? Simultaneously, you think for the next shot, okay, what's the probable return he's going to give me, which we're going to cover in the next chapter, which is the serve return.
The purpose of this cone is to allow him to return as soon as possible to the middle. Okay? I still remember when I was in the national team, I saw my colleague, my teammate, when they train single, I see he are able to hit and then return, forcing himself to return back to this area. If you play a normal game, it's become much more easier. So we're gonna try one time. I'm gonna bring the cone closer, so it's gonna be more difficult for Fabian to reach to the birdie. Right? So let's give it a try. Right, yeah, try Fabian. Okay, back to the middle. Right, you can start slow. Right. So now the speed's still kind of slow. Back to the middle. Okay, now I'm gonna start to speed up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, return. 1, 2, return. Okay, 1, 2, return. Okay, 1, 2, 3, return. 1, 2. All right, excellent, very good.